Channel 2, WBBM Television, Chicago.
From Chicago's news team, live, the Channel 2 Weekend News.
It began during the evening rush hour and did not end until 3 a.m. And through it all, a man on the edge was threatening to kill himself. Good evening. A Winnetka man is in custody at Cook County Hospital tonight after keeping scores of police at bay and hundreds of motorists stuck in a gigantic traffic jam. Mike Kirsch now updates the story of the man, his gun, and his dog.
Fugitive Melvin Deutsch sat for nearly 9 hours on the Edens Expressway with a gun to his head and with dozens of federal and local police officers pointing rifles at him as well. During the height of the drama, Deutsch talked with Channel 2 newsmen Bill Kurtis and Walter Jacobson by cellular phone, telling them he would not surrender to police until his pet Labrador, Minnie, was removed from his Cadillac and given to a friend.
Surely there's a way out of it. I mean, you don't want to take your life.
Well, if my dog is not going to be safe, I will.
But shortly before 3 o'clock this morning, Deutsch agreed to release the dog to a friend. Police then provided him with a long rope. Deutsch tied it to the animal's neck and then let the dog loose. He then placed his loaded .357 Magnum handgun on the dashboard and stepped out of his car. The 8.5-hour dilemma was over. FBI agents say Deutsch ran a bogus warehouse corporation. They charge he would call paper goods companies in New York, California, and Illinois and bilk them of millions of dollars by allegedly ordering their products and reselling the products without paying the companies. Authorities say he would then flee the states he operated out of. The marathon evening began last night at 5 o'clock at Deutsch's Winnetka residence, where he was first approached by FBI agents.
They were staking it out since Tuesday, up and down the block, and yesterday when he came home, he spotted an odd car and he took off.
So that's when the chase began. After racing at speeds of up to 100 miles an hour on the Edens Expressway, FBI agents and Deutsch came to a screeching halt in the middle of the 5 o'clock rush hour, with thousands of motorists caught in the middle.
All the police doors open, the guys came out with the rifles and the guns, and they were poised to shoot this man, and all of a sudden he put a gun up to his head, and there was a lot of confusion at first.
Police later explained why the dilemma dragged on.
The largest portion of the negotiations dealt with his concern that the dog be cared for, and our concern that he not do anything which either put himself or our officers and personnel in a dangerous situation.
Now, Deutsch is in the hospital tonight after complaining of chest pains. He has been arraigned on charges of wire fraud and is being held without bond. His pet Labrador, Minnie, is at the home of a friend. Mike, Mary?
Thanks, Mike. Some anxious moments at the White House today. A 26-year-old Maryland man jumped the fence and was arrested within yards of the west wing of the mansion. The intruder told the Secret Service he was, in his own words, astroplaning and trying to catch the sun. The man was taken away in handcuffs. President Reagan was not in danger during that incident.
Just one day after a major accident on Chicago's L tracks, there is another accident to report involving the CTA tonight. A city bus and a car crashed head-on in the northwest side this afternoon. 3 people, the bus driver and 2 passengers, were slightly injured. Police say the number 52 Kedzie was traveling north on California when a car crossed the median and hit the bus head-on. And there's some new information tonight about that CTA train collision that injured 25 riders yesterday morning. One motorman involved reportedly radioed the control room immediately following yesterday's accident. He said that he had, quote, a yellow brake emergency. That means a problem with the brakes or emergency systems designed to stop the train automatically. So far, the CTA has said the trains show no sign of mechanical failure. On Thursday, however, the CTA did admit that dozens of trains with broken brake warning systems were being used on that same Lake Dan Ryan line.
In London, where there was a disastrous subway fire this week, investigators are closing in on a possible cause. They think the smoky flash fire started in an old wooden escalator. They suspect that mechanical bearings overheated and erupted into flames. The subway inferno killed 30 people and injured 100 others.
Is one of Chicago's richest families about to buy Pan Am Airlines? Well, that is the word tonight from Teamster officials. They say the Pritzker family lawyers are talking to unions at Pan Am and are expected to make a bid for the troubled airline soon. Reports have been circulating for days that the Pritzkers planned to merge Pan Am with its Braniff Airlines. Still ahead, the latest on jury deliberations in the El Rutin Libyan terrorist trial.
And also on our news tonight, opponents and supporters of a city gay rights bill face off in downtown Chicago. And later we'll take you to a school that gives uncommon flying lessons.
Look to Jewel for lunchtime values. Quench your big thirst with Canfields, Coke, 7-Up, or Pepsi. A 2-liter bottle is just 99 cents. Plan a meal in minutes with Oscar Mayer wieners. A 1-pound package is only $1.79. And get a 7-ounce bag of Jay's potato chips for just 99 cents for lunchtime values.
The fragrance from Estee Lauder that moves through time and time again.
You are so beautiful to me.
Beautiful. Now at Marshall Fields.
Hundreds of people jammed the Plaza of Daley Center today to oppose a gay rights ordinance that may be adopted by the city. Our Burleigh Hines was there for the emotional rally.
Until the powers of heaven shall join in a heavenly chorus as we unite.
In many respects, it was like an old-fashioned revival meeting, with anti-gay speakers quoting the Bible to hammer home their positions on homosexuality. One speaker said he used to be gay.
There is a way out. Someone said, how did you get saved? I got saved the same way you did. I quit the sin business and started to walk toward God, and God saved me.
The major reason for the rally was to gather support against a proposed city gay rights ordinance. Speakers came from as far away as New York and California to denounce the proposal.
When those two people come out of their domicile into the public forums of our day and seek to change the values of our society, whereby we are going to be forced by force of law to accept and equate homosexuality on a par with heterosexuality, they've got my attention.
While one group was having its rally, another smaller group was having its own anti-rally. A small group of pro-gay rights activists kept a vigil near the edge of the crowd. But when one member tried to take her views into the main rally, police were quick to intervene.
We're sick of people coming into our community and coming in from suburbs. They don't understand our gay problems. They don't understand what's happening with our AIDS crisis.
One anti-gay rights speaker says New York and California have a similar ordinance as the one proposed in Chicago. And both states now have a preponderance of the AIDS cases in the country. Burleigh Hines, The Weekend News.
The gay rights ordinance will come up for a preliminary city council hearing in 2 weeks.
After 3 days, the jury is still out in the terrorism trial of El Rucan top gun Jeff Ford and 4 of his lieutenants. During the 5.5-week trial, Ford and the others have been accused of plotting to commit violent acts against the U.S. in exchange for $2.5 million. The money, which was never received, was supposed to come from Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. If the 5 are found guilty, they could each be sentenced to almost 300 years in prison.
Still to come tonight, an incredible win by the Wildcats in Northwestern. And after the break, Steve Baskerville with the weather forecast.
Here's a double good color watch photo offer from Walgreens. Get a second set of big 35mm 4x6-inch show prints free, including a free $1.99 value album. Or if you choose, get a second set of regular size color prints for a nickel a print. The second set choice is yours, only at Walgreens.
Over 1,300 Walgreens are linked by the Intercom network. In seconds, your prescription records are available to you at any Walgreens in America.
From three-dimensional television to shopping in Paris from your own living room, it's television of the future. I'm Bill Kurtis. Join me for a special report Monday at 5.
Ever since your post office invented express mail overnight delivery, others have tried to copy our eagle, but it's not so easy. You see, express mail overnight reliability is close to perfect, with the most convenient locations and prices as low as $10.75. About half what most others charge. So we're pretty hard to imitate. So use the original express mail service from your post office.
Unless you've been hiding under the covers all day, you already know it's quite cold out. But you might take a little comfort from the fact that it's a lot colder elsewhere. Arctic winds have been whistling across the east today, and some parts of the country had as much as 8 inches of snow. But the snow hasn't touched Chicago yet. Steve Baskerville is here. Are we lucky or what?
You know, I was just thinking, Mary, how some things stay the same, right? When we got together as a group last week, it was sunny and 60 degrees outside.
Yeah, right.
Today it was sunny, and only thing, it was 60 degrees colder, is the way it felt out there. But in terms of your weather around Chicago, when you hear stories about all these tales of how cold it's been elsewhere, don't worry. The only thing consistent about our weather is how inconsistent it will be over the next several days. We're going up again. But first things first, take a look at all the current conditions. Now, there is no wind chill to speak of. The southerly winds are really more like breezes this afternoon and evening. 29 degrees at O'Hare, about 35 degrees at the lakefront, about 34 to 31 degrees at Midway. The high today was 37 degrees. The low early this morning, only 18 degrees. At one point early today, we had a wind chill factor of only 6 above. The barometer is falling now. The winds, a reminder, out of the south, and as long as they come out of the south, it will be mild around here over the next couple of days. If you're planning on traveling anywhere east of Chicago, bundle up. 14 degrees in Grand Rapids, about 8 degrees early this morning up in Binghamton, New York. 23 degrees, hasn't been that cold in Newark, New Jersey in about 20 to 25 years. 29 degrees down in Charlotte, North Carolina. It goes on and on, anywhere in the east from New England all the way down through the south. Now, in terms of our weather, the mild side is going to be our side for Sunday and Monday. This warm front really represents warmer air, but no rain or snow moving into Chicago. The high for tomorrow, here's the biggest turnaround of all, about 50 to 55 degrees by mid-afternoon. But if you have plans on stepping out tonight, here's what's playing in Chicago. Fair and cold weather to stay at least tonight. 30 to 33 degrees, maybe after midnight tonight, the temperature dipping down to about 25 or 26. Tomorrow, the clouds increase. The only drawback in the milder weather is that we could get some rain in here by tomorrow night, but 52 to 55 degrees isn't bad for a Sunday afternoon in November. Now, for Monday, the cloudy morning, maybe some leftover rain, sunny. Later on in the day on Monday, it looks like the first couple days of the week, really starting off nice and mild and not anything like November, but 28 degrees back again from Tuesday night through Thursday. I'll tell you more tonight at 10 o'clock. Here are Mike and Mary.
Thanks.
And Steve, if the weather wasn't enough to remind us all, here's another one. We're just 1 week away from a big holiday event in Chicago, the Christmas Parade down Michigan Avenue. And today, volunteers were busy at parade headquarters. They helped decorate some of the dozens of floats that'll be part of the parade. Among the celebrities expected to attend, Dick Van Dyke and Emma Samms of Dynasty fame. The parade begins at noon next Saturday. It starts at Michigan and Balboa and will move north to Wacker Drive.
And up next, a school that gives inflated grades and a heavy day of college football, including Northwestern's upset over the Illini.
Books cost too much, so I opened Crown Books. Now you'll never have to pay full price again. We have over 10,000 books to browse through. James Herriot's Bonnie's Big Day, a sweet, tender story about the bond between a farmer and his mare, will bring smiles and tears, just $7.12. And from Shirley Conran, her best, Savages, where survival is a maybe for 5 wealthy women fleeing a tropical isle and terrorists, just $12.97. So remember, if you paid full price, you didn't buy it at Crown Books.
I needed a truck, but I wanted to go with a winner. Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck the last 10 years and the best value, too. Good looking and solid built. My Ford dealer had a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty, even rear anti-lock brakes. Saved me over $2,000 on options.
Now, for a limited time, get $500 cash back on F-150. $500 cash back and a wide selection of 88s.
It's a winner, all right, from quality people with good quality products. My choice, top Ford truck.
This week at Dominic's, enjoy a perfect Thanksgiving Day party punch made with Tropicana regular or home-style frozen orange juice. Healthy and fun at just 99 cents a 12-ounce can. For a touch of Old Italy, it's Prego spaghetti sauce, meat, plain, or mushroom. Sauce it to 'em at just 99 cents a 15-ounce jar. And wake up to the delicious difference of Maxwell House coffee. Great, cup after cup. Just $3.89 a 2-pound can at Dominic's for a big helping of holiday happiness.
Well, what do you know? Another chapter tonight in the family feud between the McCaskies and the Hallises over Chicago Bears stock. Stephen and Christine Hallis, the children of former Bears president Muggs Hallis, own 20% of the team. And now a Chicago-based real estate firm has offered $17.5 million for their stock. The trustee of the Hallis estate has okayed the bill. but the Hallis heirs can still turn it down. Now, if the Hallis family accepts, the McCaskey family then has the right to match the offer and keep the stock in the family. And I hope everybody understands all that highfalutin, high-finance stuff, because I sure don't.
It's going to take an attorney to straighten that
Right.
out, I would say.
And this is the point in the broadcast where someone really knowledgeable about sports would say something very clever leading into Howard. I, however, will just say, here's Howard.
All right, that's good enough. If you don't like football, take a break for a few minutes, because we got a ton of it coming your way. It was #1 against #2. With the Orange Bowl on the line, and maybe Nebraska's players did too much mouthing off the last week and not enough practicing, because Oklahoma pulled the upset. They go to the Orange Bowl against Miami. Nebraska scored. Well, Notre Dame was a real long shot for the national championship this year, but that was still Coach Lou Holtz's goal. Now from long shot, they go to no shot. Penn State upset the Irish today by a point. It was at Penn State. Penn State led it from the beginning, but Notre Dame kept fighting back. Tony Rice ran for 2 touchdowns. This is 31 yards, and it was tied 7-7 early. Then it's 14-14 in the fourth quarter. Penn State takes the lead. John Green gets the ball and fights his way into the end zone. 21-14, the defending national champs led. Notre Dame, though, would score. Less than a minute to go in the game. Anthony Johnson will take it the last yard. 21-20, Penn State was on top by a point. Lou Holtz says, go for 2 on the play. Go for the win and not the tie. And on the 2-point conversion, Tony Rice tries to get outside. He is tackled. Penn State wins it by 1. And just like last year, Northwestern gave Mike White and the Illini something to think about during the offseason. Northwestern whipped the Illini. This put it away. Fourth quarter, Jeff Robinson intercepts an Illinois pass and takes it 73 yards, 28-10, Northwestern. Now, the fans were so happy they wanted to get onto the field. Here's a fan that won't make it. Watch the defense here. Watch the tackle by the security guard there. What a play, but I think I see a flag there. That is definitely 15 yards for unnecessary roughness. Now, it isn't often that the Ohio State-Michigan game has nothing to do with the Big Ten race, but it's still the biggest game of the year for the 2 schools, and Ohio State won it. Tom Tupa to Carlos Snow. He goes 71 yards, and it was 14-13 Ohio State. They won it 21-20. Earl Bruce, his last game as Buckeye head coach, fired this past week. He goes out as a winner. Ohio State had to be crazy to fire a guy with a record like Earl Bruce had, but he is out, but he won it today. Other scores, Iowa over Minnesota, Michigan State won, Indiana over Purdue, USC going to the Rose Bowl to play Michigan State. They beat UCLA, Augustana winner, and 41 losses in a row now for Columbia. In high school ball, 6A, Hersey makes it to the state finals. It was the fourth quarter here. Naperville North takes the lead. Dave Schulte scores. It was 14-10, but Hersey wins with 15 seconds to go in the game. Duke Tobin lobs the pass to Craig Ellinger. 17-14, Hersey goes to the 6A finals. They will play East St. Louis, a winner today. In 5A, it will be Richwoods of Peoria against Joliet Catholic. Providence beat Richards today, and it was Marion Central over Stockton, 27-11. That was in 2A. Well, in horse racing, this is the Super Bowl. Millions of dollars were up for grabs in the Breeders' Cup races. 7 races, all of these worth at least $1 million. Now, this is the sprint race, the fastest horses in the country. The heavy favorite, Groovy, was upset. All alone on the lead is a filly. Very Subtle was her name. She covered the 6 furlongs in 1 minute 8 4/5 seconds, and that's moving. Very Subtle wins the sprint. Great finish in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Theatrical was 3rd in the Arlington Million. He's on the rail here with Pat Day, the jockey, and he just held off the charge of Trebellina. And now let's get the call of the Breeders' Cup Classic featuring Ferdinand and Ali Sheba, both Kentucky Derby winners. The announcer had to have money on that, didn't he? Ferdinand was the winner by a nose over Ali Sheba, and it meant $1.8 million for his owners. Well, it's the first place Chicago Bulls against the Detroit Pistons tonight at the stadium, and all of a sudden teams are starting to dread coming to the stadium to take on the Bulls. They're now 7-1, and they need this one tonight before they take off for 8 tough games on the road. Now, last night the Bulls beat Atlanta by 2. It was Jordan versus Dominique Wilkins. Michael had 33 points, 14 of them in the fourth quarter when it counted. Dominique with 36 in the game. He'll blow past Brad Sellers here. Dominique may have won the scoring battle with Michael Jordan, but the Bulls win the game by 2. Down at clutch time, watch Michael Jordan dribble around here. The Bulls were up by 1. He put the ball up and in. That was a 3-point play. Bulls led it by 4. Then they were up by 2, and the Hawks had 2 chances to try to tie the game, but they'll miss both shots, and the Bulls had the win. And how excited was Coach Doug Collins after the game? He is fired up. The Bulls are now 7-1 on the season, and they will play Detroit tonight at the stadium. Well, the college season started today with a tip-off classic, Syracuse and North Carolina. Syracuse by 2, but North Carolina tied the game there to send it in overtime. Pete Shilcott got the good bounce on that, and North Carolina won it in overtime, upsetting the #1 team in college basketball, North Carolina 96 and Syracuse 93. And, of course, tomorrow the Bears and the Detroit Lions at noon here on Channel 2. And stay tuned afterwards. We'll have post-game coverage. We'll see if the Bears can get it going again after losing last Monday night.
All right. Thanks, Howard. Finally tonight, parade balloons are lighter than air, so taking one for a walk, especially in windy Chicago, is no easy task. That's why on Michigan Avenue today, Balloon School was in session. Parade volunteers got some advanced lessons in the art of blowing up and handling the pride of the parade.
Actually, what you're doing, it's a cross between flying a giant kite and sailing a boat. You got wind, you got a massive sail, and it takes, you work in teams to keep it balanced, to keep, you counteract each other, you work with each other, and you're guiding it more than actually controlling it.
Takes about 15 pairs of well-trained hands to handle the 35-foot king of the parade. Teddy measures in at 18 feet and takes 10 people to handle it. That's something to remember, I guess, if you happen to see a balloon head for Evanston in next Saturday's Christmas parade. That's it for us.
Good night.
2 on 2's next. Hope you watch. Good night.
These track auto prices are so low, I wish my car needed more maintenance. Of course, I could always stock up.
Right, Schneid? Especially this week. Stock up on new Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, just $3.49 a gallon. Carroll Cable 12-foot copper booster cables are only $6.99. And save $100 on Fox's Micro-Fox radar detector at $169.99.
He only makes it 3. They got over 60 items on sale every week. Get the door! If you need it, Track's got it.
This weekend through Sunday, an unprecedented Bonwood Teller Fur Sale at the Hyatt Oakbrook Hotel. 2 days only, a Bonwood Teller Fur Sale like no other. 30 to 50% off every fur you ever dreamed of having. Mink, fox, beaver, lynx, and much more. Magnificent luxury furs, 30 to 50% off. An incredible Bonwood Teller Fur Sale. This weekend through Sunday. The Kent Room at the Hyatt Hotel in Oakbrook, 1909 Spring Road. Don't miss it.
Hear that? Big transmission problems and little transmission problems can sound a lot alike. That's one reason AMCO gives transmissions a complete diagnostic checkup. Fact is, half of the cars serviced by AMCO dealers don't need a new transmission. Now, how does that sound?
AMCO, AA-MCO.
AMCO transmission centers are experts on front-wheel drive transaxles. They should be checked annually. Consult the AMCO dealer nearest you. The Illinois Department of Commerce and Community Affairs offers the booklet Illinois Calendar of Events. Call 1-800-223-0121 to obtain a copy.
The Weekend News is a presentation of Channel 2, Chicago's station for news.
Close your eyes for a moment, because we'd like you to imagine sautéing seafood and succulent shrimp seasoned with basil and garlic. Come on, keep them closed. Okay, and tossing them with steaming pasta, tomatoes, peas, and green onions. Look, is this what you've been imagining? Our new pasta primavera? Good. Now imagine where you can get this and 5 other new dishes we call the Delightfuls. Here.
Look to Jewel for the sweetest savings, like Tab, Sprite, Coke, Cherry Coke, or Coca-Cola Classic. 12 12-ounce cans are only $2.99. Save on assorted varieties of Copenhagen Gourmet ice cream, just $1.89 a quart. And get a 12-ounce package of Nestle's chocolate morsels for only $1.89. For the sweetest savings.
It's a tour de force on this tantalizing look at the lifestyles of the rich and notorious, with your host, Channel 2's John Drummond, who circles the city to uncover the kind of stories Chicago never stops talking about. See where the notorious chic elite are living in such splendid surroundings as the oh-so-noble North Shore, opulent Oak Brook, and sumptuous South Barrington. It's an invitation you can't refuse on this look at the lifestyles of the rich and notorious.
Monday at 10 on Channel 2 News.